Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday morning. We are talking Real Housewives of Potomac today, possibly a little bit of New Jersey. There's a lot going on. Beverly Hills, Lisa Rinna, so much to cover. But last night we had Real Housewives of Potomac. Was it last night or the night before? Wednesday night? Is that right? Yeah. We had Real Housewives of Potomac. So this is a PSA disclaimer. If anyone has not seen the newest episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, then you're not going to want to watch this. I also want to quickly talk about a live that took place between Porsha Williams and Candace Bassett from the Real Housewives of Potomac. So before we get started, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on. Definitely trying to grow my channel. I have some new things coming up. Gonna get a schedule of lives going and a couple of different things, so make sure you guys hit those notifications and follow. Okay guys, let's jump right into this. I want to talk about first Porsha and Candace Bassett doing a live. It was in support of a Tyler Perry movie, I think, like Sisters or something. Oh, of course, everything in this video that I'm talking about is alleged. They do a live. It's Porsha and Candace. Now, Porsha allegedly is getting married to Simon. Sorry about this train. She's having two weddings. That's what everyone has been hearing. She's going to have an American wedding, a Nigerian wedding. But she was asked to go on the Real Housewives of the Ultimate Girls trip. She was in Thailand with the ladies, but she was not invited to Bravocon. And it does not look like she's coming back for Real Housewives of Atlanta. So what is actually going on here, guys? Question mark. If you know, leave it in the comments. We have Porsha attending the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip in Thailand, which we did hear that Tinsley Mortimer was due to, that was actually her spot, and she canceled last minute. And so they were able to get Porsha last minute to go to Thailand and film the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Now, that alone should have gotten her invited to Bravo, in my opinion. Even though it is a Peacock series, it's still the, Bravo Housewives. I don't know how much of people of New York was there, but everyone else from the Thailand trip was at Bravocon, except for maybe Leah. I can't say for sure. If you guys know if Leah was at Bravocon, please make sure that you comment. But I didn't see her either. Anyways, they go live to do a video, and of course the wedding gets brought up, and Porsha just seems very childish in comparison to Candace, which is really astounding, because Candace, we all have known her to be somewhat immature for her age emotionally and on a financial level. And so we seen how she handled the fight with Monique, and we just never have gotten a lot of maturity from her. But we did in this live, guys, because Porsha, somehow the weddings get brought up, because of course Candace, promotes her tour, and then she asks Porsha about the weddings. She heard it's coming up soon. She knows people that's invited. And Porsha's response was that she really wanted to invite Candace, but she needs to make sure that that's okay with some other people, because she doesn't want anyone to feel uncomfortable at her wedding. She just wants good vibes and good energy and love in the air. And Candace, was so mature. She just really, told I keep wanting to call her Porsha, just send me your wedding registry. That's what she said. She said, just send me your wedding registry, girl. I don't need to go to your wedding. I will buy you a gift and send it to you. You don't need to invite me at all. It's fine. So I'm wondering who she's speaking about. Is it Monique going to the wedding, maybe? And that's what she's talking about, because who else would be so uncomfortable around Candace? That would be in Porsha's circle of people, especially considering that she's not working for Bravo. Now, Candace also brings up some kind of something to do with Bravocon, because this live took place before Bravocon, but not very much, a couple of days before. So Candace starts talking about her schedule and how she's flying out on Thursday for Bravocon on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday she will start her tour, and she mentioned something about Monday that she thinks she'll see Porsha, and she also mentions Bravocon, and Porsha comes right out and says that she was not invited to Bravocon. And I just thought that was funny. Sorry, guys, low battery. I just thought that was a little funny. More about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Let's get this broke down so everyone understands what Giselle is trying to say here about Chris Bassett. The Green-Eyed Bandits definitely have some cracks, I think. Robin goes and after Giselle confronts Candace, and we keep hearing Giselle tell the story that Chris made her very uncomfortable because he came to her and said, "Can I speak with you a moment?" And she actually said that she offered the hotel room, and that when she opened the door, she realized that her glam wasn't there and that she was alone in this hotel room with this married man, and it made her very uncomfortable. Robin says, "Did he touch you?" She says, "No." "Did he try to, say anything sexual to you?" "No." Okay, so basically the circumstances of your glam not being present is what made you uncomfortable, not Chris, right? Giselle goes to Karen's house. Karen tells us an interesting story. I think, how many years ago did she say it was? I want to say 3 years ago. She said she was at a party and a Real Housewives of Potomac husband hugged her so tightly that she thought her titas were gonna burst, is what she said. And she said there were other people that saw it, and she had to go talk to Ray about it, and she talked to her pastor or her preacher about it, and she was able to move past it without bringing any light or attention to it, probably out of respect for the housewife herself, right? I give Karen kudos for that. I give kudos to Karen for that because I really feel like that was a class act. She said he had been drinking, but there was still a physical contact there. Chris Bassett says at lunch with Candace, he understands that he doesn't know what is or isn't triggering for specific people because we never know what people have been through, right? So we don't always know what triggers them. And for that reason, he tries to be very mindful with the ladies. When Robin comes in, he doesn't even want to stand up to hug her because he's scared now that he's going to make her feel uncomfortable. We know that he DMs Ashley Darby, but it wasn't a DM. It was a reply to her story and a picture that said, "You should have came to the W." And now we find out that Chris is general manager of the W. It has a high-end rooftop bar, and that's where he's working, and he's general manager. So it would make sense that he would be promoting where he's working because I'm sure that's part of the deal when he gets hired. Yeah, so is Giselle wrong for coming out and saying that Chris made her uncomfortable because they were in a hotel room that she thought were people there and there wasn't? And do you think that this was they had nothing else going on? This was the only storyline that they could pick up and throw at the wall and see if it would stick. We're also seeing cracks between Robin and Giselle's relationship, and Karen says it right to Giselle's face. She says, "How do you feel about Robin?" Sharing your story all over town about Chris Bassett, and Giselle says she's yet to talk to her about it. Then we see a clip of Robin meeting with Candace and Chris, basically saying Giselle just kind of, I think, explaining where this all came from and maybe trying to show them a little bit of love and support because we saw Candace get up, ask for a producer, and then she ended up leaving. She just completely left. Then we see Wendy and Robin start going at it back and forth, and I really tell you guys, because Wendy does commentary, she's gonna kill it every single time, okay? She is. She's got stuff on deck in her mind up here, especially when she's on live TV. None of y'all are going to be able to take that on. I'm sorry, but you're not. And Robin looked like a fool. She looked like a complete fool. And then, unless the production made it look this way, they could have. Robin turns around and says she's going to have a family fun day at her house because she wants all the kids to get to know each other, and she invites everyone but Wendy in front of everyone. Okay, she invites all the ladies, Giselle, and who was sitting? It was Robin, Giselle, Ashley, Darby. It was all of the ladies except Mia, except for Wendy. And so Wendy was like, you know what? My cutoff is kids. This is really messed up. And I'm going to go with Wendy and say, you know what? That is really messed up of Robin. I did not think that was cool of her at all. It is the kids. It's the housewives' kids. They should be able to build a relationship and have some, you guys know what I'm trying to say, amongst each other. That would be nice because they're all going through a super special experience that not a lot of people go through, not a lot of people can relate to. And so it would be good for the children to meet each other and hang out and get to know each other a little bit. And I really think that it's shitty of Robin to literally invite everyone else but Wendy in front of Wendy, especially when it has to do with the kids. Do you know how hurtful that is when someone makes you feel like your kids aren't welcome somewhere? I just thought that was so shitty. And I really think it's because Robin knew that Wendy had ate her up, shoot her up, and then spit her back out when they were fighting. Also talk a little bit about Wendy showing she's having some hair loss issues. So I feel like that was pretty letting us in a little bit about, some of the issues that she has because she's under so much stress. And also she's got a little bit of this storyline going with Peter Thomas and this restaurant. And basically, I don't want to say it, guys, but don't we remember when Cynthia had to sue Peter Thomas for like $60,000 after she married, what's his name? Like, he owed her the money. I'm sure he owed her more than $60,000. That's probably just all that she could prove that he owed her. And so that's a little dissettling to me if you invest in a restaurant, because Wendy doesn't understand. She's literally giving him, funds to fund the place and get it going, and then she'll have 20%, but that's if it makes it. And Peter Thomas does seem to be, coming back in the spotlight. He's got the bar one in Miami, and then he's got one up in Baltimore. But I do think with a restaurant, when you want it to be successful, you have to be there all the time, and he is at one of them all the time. I just think it would be hard. They're so far away from Connecticut to Florida. That just seems a little difficult. So he's probably at one for a while and then goes to the other one. But regardless, it just seems like it would be difficult to run two new restaurants, that are like a couple hour plane ride apart. That's just me. That would be concerning for me if it was Wendy. I just don't think I would hand Peter Thomas like $120,000. That's just me personally. I just don't think I would do that. I don't know if his businesses are valued with as much as he says, but they could be. Then we get a little bit of Mia and Giselle making up. Giselle's really laying it on to Mia. Then we get Robin really laying it on to Mia. We get Ashley Darby house shopping, yet still crying about her divorce, putting the house possibly in LLC because she can't afford the house that she wants. And she's also surprised when she goes to do a walkthrough through a home. She'd spoken to Michael about the financing, the issues of the LLC, what that would look like, and is this basically hindering her chance when she's putting a bid into these homes? Because if you guys don't remember, the housing market was crazy. You would put a bid in and somebody would come in with a cash offer and completely, blow it away. So that was wild. But she finds out that the realtor says, oh, we've already worked everything out. All the financing is pre-approved and ready to go. We just have to find the right house. And so Ashley seems surprised by that. The producer says, how do you feel that you're going into this and already Michael is lying to you? And she straight up says, it upsets me so bad, I don't even like to think about it. Like, I almost feel like she just throws her hands up and because she doesn't have the fight in her to fight Michael. But I do think it's probably a way of control, and she's not thinking ahead of the fact that what happens if she starts dating somebody else that Michael doesn't like, that Michael doesn't approve of, and he could just make your life pretty terrible. I would think in a situation like that. I also think it's her way of holding on to Michael, having that security. She didn't have a father figure. She married someone much older than her that had financial security. She didn't have that growing up either. I think he ended up buying the mom her house. We saw that her dad sadly has nothing to do with her. She, showed us that in season 2. And I basically think that it's her way of holding on to him. And even though they have 2 children together, I think that she needs the security right now because of the fact that she is scared to be a single mom, and her mom was a single mom and her mom struggled and she didn't want to struggle, and she probably married Michael and had 2 kids thinking that they were going to be a family because it was important that her children have a dad, even though even though she didn't have a dad, it was that much more important that the boys have a good dad, knowing that Michael will still probably be like a C+ kind of dad if they're not living together, a B- dad probably when they all live together in that apartment. I forget what they call it. I was calling it an apartment. And what does Karen call it? She said Steel City, I think, because she said the whole building's like steel and she hates it. That's what Karen said about Ashley and Michael's apartment. Anyways, I understand Ashley wanting a house with 2 babies. Go Ashley. I hope she got the house of her dreams. I have to find out what's going on with her. I'm not really updated because then it kind of ruins the season. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about the Real Housewives of Potomac. And also, gonna do another video, of course, on New Jersey because there's just so much coming out about New Jersey that we have to talk about it. So I hope you guys have a great Monday, and we will talk soon. Bye.